Canada is looking for people to take part in research looking at whether the cure for COVID-19 can be found in the blood of survivors like Julie Thaler. The kindergarten teacher tested positive for the virus in early March and battled all the classic symptoms for weeks before finally recovering. Today, she's part of multiple trials in the U.S. looking at whether the antibodies she developed can be used to treat others fighting COVID-19. And we are lucky to be joined by Julie this morning. Great to talk to you. So glad to hear that you're fully recovered. Julie, these research trials are being done here in Canada, the U.S., the U.K., France, China, Japan, Egypt. You've participated in a number of them, but the main one that you're in is run through Columbia University. Talk to me about how you found out that donating your blood plasma to these trials was even an option for you.
So while I was sick, I happened to stumble across a Facebook page called Survivor Corps. And a woman who had COVID-19 started it in her basement, or actually her bedroom, when she was sick. There it is on the screen. And they had, in addition to stories of people, questions that people had about recovery and about the symptoms and everything else, and sad stories about people who they lost, they posted all the different kind of trials that were up and all the different places that you could donate. I connected with Columbia and Mount Sinai, and I went there for the screening. And since then, I've been donating every week.
You know, Julie, this pandemic has a way of making people feel powerless. How does it make you feel to know that you might be helping find a cure to this thing? Does that empower you in any way? Does it make you feel good?
So it's kind of a mixed bag. Absolutely. It's a silver lining. It makes everything that we went through kind of seem a little bit more tolerable, that at the end we can actually help and we hold the cure for many people to help get through this and survive it. But it also it weighs heavily on us because we are besieged by emails and posts on Survivor Corps for people pleading for plasma for their loved ones. And, you know, you have to be the right blood type and you have to be located in the right area, close enough. And it happened to me that a colleague actually reached out that her uncle was sick. And, you know, I had the right blood type for him and I signed up right away. I filled out the form. And by the next morning, she texted me that her uncle had died. So it weighs heavily on us. But, you know, the more survivors, I was in the first round of survivors. But as more and more people get better and are that many days out from recovery, more people will be able to donate plasma. And that's what we're hoping for.
So talk to me about the protocol. What do you have to do as part of this trial? Is it just donating blood and plasma, or do you have to take a particular diet?
I wish. No, we went to Columbia. I went to Columbia, and they screened me. They gave me a COVID test, both the FDA one and their own, and they took blood to see if I had the antibodies. People who have COVID-19 don't necessarily get the antibodies that they need and a high enough number. They're really looking for people with very, very high antibodies. 3 days after the screening, I was surprised to learn that I was still actually positive. And I was way past the CDC recommendation of 72 hours past your last fever. And I was way past 7 days since onset. So I had to go back into isolation for another week.
How did that make you feel?
I was actually shockingly surprised, and because we are looking to the CDC for guidelines, and you know, if you follow them, you can actually infect your family, your loved ones. You go back out to the community. I was in the supermarket thinking that I was not only, you know, past contagiousness, but that I had an immunity to it. So I wasn't even wearing a mask. So there's a lot of, the CDC rules are very lax. I understand that they're really meant for the medical community so that doctors and nurses get back to the hospital quickly. And so they set the minimal standards, but this is what your average person is looking at and going online and finding out, can I go now out of isolation and hug my children and my wife again, or my spouse?
Wow.
And it's scary.
Julie, you have been on an emotional roller coaster, to say the least, but the fact that you've come out the other side with a desire to help as many people as you are, just congratulations. I'm so glad to hear that you're doing better.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.